Right. Well, I mean, that's the problem. Self-help lounge is typology is not something that lends itself to understanding people via type descriptions. Type descriptions are going to be reductive because they're going to talk about behavior correlates that only apply to some of the types. You need to talk about it in terms of actual attentional habits. In other words, using neutral terms like being impactful, executing, taking advantage of opportunities. These are things that link to SE DOMs, right? TI means they're very logical as well. So I typed in ESTP one time who said his most satisfying moments were he actually worked on a he's worked on the Britney Spears conservatorship case, and he wouldn't tell me much about it for reasons like he can't, you know, confidentiality reasons or whatever. But he talked about feeling a great deal of satisfaction when he successfully got somebody who was being Rachel, basically, like what happened to Rachel in her family, where they were using her mental health status against her, okay, rather than trying to treat it. Where that guy achieved meaningful, actual, practical, pragmatic, countable money kind of results for people who were in Rachel's situation was the most satisfying experience for him. Well, that's an example of him using logic to be impactful. That's not going to be the most satisfying thing for me. It's going to be, you know, when I say something super insightful, maybe, and everyone goes, wow, or that's really insightful. That's going to be the most satisfying thing for me. That's the difference between ESTPs and ENTPs that you can articulate, and it's non-normative. It doesn't make one of them better than the other, right? In fact, if anything, it makes the intuitive less good because there's no practical impacts, really. Of course, that's undervaluing the intuitive's ways, because for intuitives, it does matter having the right map or the wrong map. If you have the right map, you can get better and be a better version of your type. If you have the wrong map, you can't. I learned this in music making. Prior to having the right map that explained NI to me as something I had to just trust and not deconstruct, I didn't know how to make. I kept rejecting all the hooks that I would come up with because they weren't made by me. They just appeared from somewhere, and I didn't trust that, you know. So I had to have the right map, and having the right map made a huge difference for me. It was hugely impactful. So it may be the case that in instances where I'm explaining things in ways that are insightful and communicatively successful, that I have big impacts on other intuitives in helping them to understand themselves and their way in the world in practical, specific ways to them, like music was for me. It's quite possible that's the case. But at least we understand that it's a metaphysical impact, not a physical impact. That to the extent that it helps you in ideational ways, not in deposited in the bank's ways.